Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. PSR is excited to present to you Last Call, featuring your boy, the pimp slap POD, Mike M.
Pimpin' ain't easy, but it's fun like money. Got bookies on the run, now it's time to get money. Not your typical way to ball. It's last call like some convicts waiting on the next draw. You can feel the tension. Did I mention? Fools better pay attention, cause we getting paid like a pension. T's on the ones and twos, we not the ones that lose. Mike, money's killers, Mike even make the even news.
And now, let's get to the picks.
We be pumping!
Buzz Force Radio, you know we be pumping!
What up? What up? Welcome on in. It's Last Call, April 1st. Happy April Fool's Day to everybody out there. 6 p.m. Monday to Friday, Pub Sports Radio. You already know what we do over here. We get down with these last-minute angles, trends, analysis, injury updates, everything you're going to need to go out there and cash winning tickets tonight. And we bring on our new Monday resident, Jose Bouet, to give us the goods in Major League Baseball tonight. I'm excited for Jose to come back. He gave us a 1-0 on Friday. And shout out to Jose Bouet because he was the only one that was able to populate. Well, I shouldn't say that. You know, MMA Jeff got that cash for us in the MMA, but not me. Not me. I had to sit on this all weekend. I was embarrassed to look at this recap, but look, it's a new week. It's new money. It's everything you guys are going to need to hear to get this cash as we move forward with the NHL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, and everything else in the world of sports here as we progress through the spring, making our way into that heat of the summer in Major League Baseball only. But gonna have a lot of fun tonight. Excited about the show. Smash the thumbs up if you're just getting in here. You guys know we need the help. We need the support. We got to keep growing this thing that is Last Call. And every day's a new day, but we got to keep growing and building. Hats off to you guys. I didn't wear a hat, but if I did, I'd take it off. We had 105 likes on Friday's show. Definitely leaps and bounds over the Thursday numbers with 74. So shout out to everybody rocking with us here in the chat. You guys know the deal. There's 3 things we ask you to do here when it comes to Last Call. The first, the most important thing you do on any live stream, specifically Pub Sports live stream. I don't care about those other guys, but hit that thumbs up button for us. Show the support. You like the content. You're making cash with us. Show the support. Help us continue to grow. We need your help by way of that thumbs up. The second thing we ask you guys to do, you're not going to want to miss it tonight. Grab a pen and paper. We got games in action popping off all night long. You're going to want to write it down here, not just from the panel and myself here, but our chat. That's oh so sharp, baby. Sharper and sharper by the day. You're going to want to jot that stuff down. And, of course, we ask you guys in the chat, take the time to put your plays out there. We want to recognize everything you guys are banging on tonight as well. We're all trying to cook the books. We're all looking at the same scoreboard, trying to get that cash from the bookies' pockets into our own. So it's so important you guys drop that info out there in the chat. Great show we got lined up here. Big NHL card for a Monday. We're down to just single-digit games before the NHL playoffs, and it's going to get oh so fun. The best postseason in all of sports, Major League Baseball. It's the hardest one to win a championship in. You got to roll deep. You got to go 4 rounds, best of 7s, tons of fun, tons of action to get that cash. It's going to be aggressive. It's going to be physical. It's going to be all that fun, and we're going to get that cash on top of that. You know we're looking to put a bow on the best NHL season that I've had publicly out there, and I cannot wait to get into it. Lots of things happening over these next 2 weeks as well. We got some teams trying to play spoiler. We got some teams that are trying to go out there and shut it down and move themselves up the seedings. They want that home ice advantage for that crucial game number 7. Action galore. We got the NBA tonight. Got ourselves a couple sharp spots in the NBA, and then Major League Baseball. Here we go. We got through the first opening weekend of Major League Baseball. We've got ourselves a couple of great spots lined up tonight. Jose's going to come, and I shared that already, giving you guys his best bets out there. I'm excited to talk and cap the card with Jose Bouet. There we go. 4-finger steak bet. Bouquet's going to be joining us shortly. We got to keep a brisk pace to make sure that we're on time for our guy, Jose. And, we saw Jose earlier today, made his debut on the sesh, giving out some Major League Baseball action. So a lot of fun with them boys, Dabby and Dutch today. The gang was fired up. I was fired up this morning, and it was a lot of fun. So cannot wait to get into tonight's card. We'll go through a recap before we dive into everything. You guys know it's so important that we stay transparent. Good days, great days, even the bad days. And Friday was embarrassing. We'll talk about that momentarily, though. Very important that, look, we sit around, we take the praise on the great days. Got to eat some medicine here. Got to take that medicine on those tough days like Friday. I'm just ashamed. I'm ashamed to even have to go through it. But nonetheless, let's see what's happening out there in the chat. Appreciate everybody coming in here for last call. Joe Thompson, Joe T in the house. Our guy there, the first guy coming in. First poster of his action. As always, our guy, Joe T. Appreciate him rocking in here. He says, let's get that cash. Major League Baseball best bets, the Rangers and the Rays. He's going over 8.5 out there. And you know he's been firing with these first period hockey bets. He's got the Red Wings and Lightning first period over 1.5 in that Tampa Bay game. We're going to be talking about that game here momentarily. There's our guy, Court Wiley, in the house. He says, new week, new money. Let's get it, Mikey. Good to see you, Court Wiley. Appreciate you rocking with us. Juggler 23 in the house. The trend of the day. He's been sharing that Wise Guys action with us here, consistently bringing us these trends. This is in games between two teams with 40% or less winning percentage and a line of 4.5 or less. Either way, road teams are out there on fire right now. 89-57 straight up, 86-57-3 against the spread. And that's a 60.1% edge. You know, Juggler 23 is doing this on the real because those percentage of edges are so important not to be neglected out there. Look, 50-50s, 52, 54%. Those are essentially those weighted coin flips that we hear our guy, Jimmy the Bag, talking about. We want to see something that's got definite meat behind it. We got a nice track record there. We got 150, 160 games, 140, 50 games. There's no math here today. Nonetheless, we've got a nice 60% edge for our guy, Juggler 23. My guy, appreciate you sharing that action. There's the food time bets. He likes Kobe White over 2.5, 3 points made. Says, what's up, buddy? Let's get this cash, my guy. Food time bets. Thank you for sharing your action. Paul and Boats in the house says, making that money, Mikey, every single day. Yes, sirree. Trying to get this first cash action. I shared this Pittsburgh under on the sesh earlier today. We're trying to get that thing locked down. I think I saw that thing being around a 3-1. It's going to be so fun as we get throwing these shows here. We'll have afternoon baseball in most cases popping off to talk about as we're rolling through these shows. My guy, Bo Jackson's in the house. He says, salute, pimp. And Justin McGalvey says, stacks, P-O-D. He's at Mountcastle, over 1.5 bases. And he's giving us a plus 114 look for our guy, Justin. Appreciate seeing you in here, Justin McGalvey, our guy. Big O says, Money Monday out there. And Mr. Anderson says, last winner I gave y'all was Jazz money line and Jazz -1.5, and they were dogs. Shout out to you, Mr. Anderson. Appreciate that. Marcus McCarthy's in the house. AOD's in the house. Let's go. Mr. Anderson's dog of the day is the Arizona Diamondbacks out there. He's going to the diamond here with them Diamondbacks to give us that plus money cash tonight. Bo Jackson says, Deaconbacks. Let's go. Winner's Circle says, hey, yo, Pelicans first quarter. CJ McCollum over 23.5 points. There's a nice little look out there. Let's go, Pelicanos. And our guy T, of course, keeping us right on the ones and twos, keeping this thing moving like a well-oiled machine. He says, smash the like for our guys, Money Mike, and say, hey, Jose. So much fun to have Jose join the lineup here. Much anticipated. It's not his debut. He came in on Friday, dropped the bomb for us, but we're going to look at this guy and see what he has tonight. I believe he's got 2, maybe 3 looks for us here in Major League Baseball tonight. So you're going to want to stay tuned there. We're going to tail up the show here with Major League Baseball. I was debating the order. I'm always open for your guys' suggestions. We'll always start with the NHL. Then it's just a matter of, I guess we'll have to see what games we have going on there. But I'd like to be consistent. I'd like to go NBA and then MLB, but I guess time will tell. We'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. For now, we're going to go NBA. Then we'll close the show with MLB. Markel's in the house. Mr. Anderson says Jazz did win, by the way, and haven't won since. Give me the Blazers plus 16.5 and the money line. He says, Apple Jackson, you already know what time it is. Lego. Darius Moore's in the house. Says, what up, family? Paper time riding with the Lady LSU Tigers. I like them Lady Tigers today. I think that's going to be a great spot for them to go out there and keep it rolling. We know they already won that big matchup last year. Caitlin Clark's phenomenal. There's no doubt about it. But does she have enough to come out there and exact revenge against the squad there, the Lady Tigers. Darius Moore says, bad call. LSU Pelicans money line parlay out there. Jojo Rabbit's in the house. What up, Jojo Rabbit? And my guy Dan29 says, sup, Mike LFG. Subhuman Gaucho's out there giving us the what up. And there's my guy Gonzo says, what's up, everyone? He's on the Tampa Bay Rays money line and Cleveland money lines out there. Bo Jackson likes the Tigers money line, looking great, he says. Subhuman Gaucho says, let's get this money. Like in the Monday NHL slate. Me too. More earlier action than I got to do as far as the later action, but nonetheless, I believe it's a 5-game NHL card that we've got laid out for you guys tonight. So that will be a ton of fun. Subhuman Gaucho says, I'm afraid that my Red Wings are going to get smashed by the Lightning tonight. Taking Tampa Bay, first period puck line, but think they win in regulation. Nunya's in the house. Let's go. He says, go Tigers. Bo Jackson likes the Detroit Tigers. And there's Julian Cesario in the house. He says, what up, pimp? Let's get that cash, family. Nathan Cerna says, I'm on your Flyers, pimp slap. We'll talk about that game. And Fanatical Jim says, let's get that money. Nathan Cerna says he's going to go with the Tampa Bay Lightning money line. We're going to cover all those games there. Excited. There's a great NHL slate tonight. Darius Moore says the Kings NHL. And Coin says, what up, Mike and chat? Let's have a Monday trying to get this Washington under 9 home and get Atlanta +3 in his pocket in the NBA. Justin McCalvy's got the Lightning in regulation. Going to be fun talking about the NHL. Going to be fun talking about baseball. Look, we're about one series, maybe 2 series. Maybe by this time next week, we'll be a little more confident when we start locking down some of our RBI plays, home run spots, K props, etc. I see now it's 3-3 in that Washington-Pittsburgh game. Let's just see what inning them boys are in there. That's a 7th inning. All right. Why wouldn't we sweat? Why wouldn't we sweat this Major League Baseball afternoon action? Talk Sports with JT says, Mikey, he's got the Atlanta first 5 -1. Cashed that one already. Nice job, my guy. Texas Tampa Bay first 5 under 4.5. And KC Baltimore first 5 under 4.5. Interesting spot there. Talk Sports with JT. I saw our guy Dabby Cab earlier today talking about that Texas Tampa first 5 over. But I'm trying to lean with you. Maybe long term the game it goes over, but not a lot of experience with this pitching rotation or this batting rotation against these pitchers tonight. DC Capper says, Mikey Money, what day does Utah CBB play? I believe that's tomorrow. I believe we'll have NIT action in the house tomorrow. Steve G says, fade the Rockies train, all aboard. Shout out to you, Steve G, for that big winner. There was a no sweater. 5-0 spot for them boys. No, that game moved too. That thing, I saw the final. I was like, shit, I didn't realize they started. How about that? That game was flying. Cameron Sinet says, Braves gave out money to play with tonight. Yes, sir. And Darius Moore likes the Tampa Bay Rays on Major League Baseball out there. Of course, love to see that Tampa Bay spot. I'm definitely excited about that Tampa spot. I saw our guy Razor Sharp Picks was giving that one out as well today. So shout out to Razor and his Gambler's First Glance. Let's get into it. You guys know the deal. We talk about hockey. We talk about hoops. We talk about baseball. But we got to talk about last Friday. And look. I'm going to say it. It was a reverse sweep day. I can't believe it. I cannot. I'm disgusted. I was going to say this. Hey, why don't we just fire off the record and we'll move on and say nothing won. But look, sometimes we got to eat a big bowl of shit. And that's exactly what I did on Friday. So I'll go through them one by one. It's painful. This is painful for me to talk about. The Devils lost. All right. Look, they were winning that game. They were up in that game. The Sabres come back and blast them in that game there to get the big winner. Big loss. NC State over 151.5. Loss. Creighton +3.5. Loss. Lakers over 244.5. Loss. Magic +2. Loss. Kings. Loss. Fucking Kings, man. You got blasted by double digits. Huge opportunity for the bounce back spot. They got busted up. Kings lost. We lost our same game parlay. We went 0-2 in baseball. That's a great way. 0-3, I guess. We got the first 5 under 4.5 in the Oakland game. Didn't get there. Houston didn't get fucking Houston. The Astros. What are they doing? Who the hell told them about this opportunity? And then Bogarts takes the big L in the RBI for. So that's tough. That was tough. Had to grind all weekend to get it back. Get it back we did. But look, April 1st, new day, new month, new Monday, new cash galore to get it done. Yeah. Bo Jackson says, took the Sack Kings instead. Look, they're not going to be all glorious. Now, that was a show worst. So we do have to rebound. It's only right, though. I mean, look, you know what? We gave reverse sweep Ramon the name, and he made his change. He's earned his change here for Major League Baseball. I'm excited to hear about the changes he's making this season. And then he gave me a reverse sweep there. That's the medicine you have to take, and it's embarrassing. Look, I got to do better. You guys hit the thumbs up button. I got to come out there and give you guys the winners. That's the way this show works, or it's not going to work. So we got to get to business tonight. That was just ugly, but look, it's over. It's past us. It's on to tonight's slate. And why wouldn't we start off here in the NHL, where we've been oh so hot, kicking ass and taking names, just nearing the 60-unit mark, and excited about some plus money opportunity and a lot of great spots, I think, here. Teams in the playoff hunt. This is where it gets exciting. Fun time of year to be involved. Let's waste no further ado. Nunya says we roll on. We do roll on. It was just disappointed. A drum roll, the record to date. You want to hear the number? Let me see here. Let me pull up the units here. I gotta go through. I'll update all the individual plays, all the individual sports here. But I'll tell you what, we're still healthy. We're still well in the black here. It's a bad day, but we're 52.61 units net on the show. That's right, 52.61. And get all this back here. It's time to go after it and kick some ass and take some names. We have to exact revenge. We talk about all these revenge spots, and now we have to go get it. So haters going to hate, but we're going to keep rolling on. Let's open up the hockey slate. Get them skates on. It's playoff time here, just a week and a half or so away. And we might as well pop this slate off with the Detroit Red Wings, Tampa Bay Lightning. I see you guys talking about that in the chat. Let's break this one down and get into the action tonight. What a spot we've got here. You know, we look at this number, a lot of cash pouring in on Tampa Bay, and it should be here. I think this is a great opportunity. We know on the other side of things, who's starting in goal right now? It's Leon, whatever. It's 18-16-4 is what it is. We've got Vasilevsky. I know our guy, Jay Peasy, calls him no Vasilinsky, but 28-16-2 for this guy as well. And they have been running this guy into the ground. In fact, it's going to be his 13th start in 14 games for Vasilevsky, trying to get him back into playoff shape simply by just running him every single day. We see the Detroit Red Wings with Leon, 3.03 goals against average, 90.5% save percentage. On the other side, no Vasilinsky, 2.85 goals against average and a 90% save percentage out there. We look at this Detroit Red Wings team. They're having themselves a nice, comfortable 4-game losing streak. Also of note, this will be their 5th straight road game. They lost to Nashville 1-0. They lost to Washington 4-3. They lost to Carolina 4-0. They lost to Florida 3-2. And what's of note with those 4 losses? Every one of those teams, playoff-bound opportunities for those teams out there, and they got busted up. Plenty good from them. They do have a day's rest in between that Florida game and now Tampa. That's typically what we see with these teams visiting the old Florida Panhandle there. They'll play Florida, and then they'll play Tampa, or vice versa, and then Carolina gets their way into the mix as well. So here we go on the Tampa Bay Lightning side of things. 3 straight winners for these guys, 4 in their last 5 as well. And the thing about Vasilevsky there, you know, he came off a spot where he's let up 1 goal in 2 straight games. He's got a 4-1 win at home against the Islanders. Then they've got a rest period yesterday, and they're coming back at it today. They did beat up Boston 3-1 prior to that. They beat Anaheim 3-2. They lost to the Kings 4-3 on the road, and they beat San Jose in the Shark Tank 4-1 as well. So these guys have been back home now for a couple of days. I think the rest is going to do them well. We're going to roll back on with this opportunity here. We've cashed on it before. When you're going up to Toronto next game up, you're sitting at home. You're 33-5 in those opportunities, and you're covered by 2.5 pucks or 2.5 goals. That's going to give us Tampa Bay. We're going to take the -1.5. We're going to lay the puck line in this thing, not just the opportunity for the regulation spot. Love the regulation spot. I mean, they're going to win this thing by at least 2. So certainly not mad at anybody, but I'm going to beef it up a little. I see now the best line we have out there is +132. So it has come down a little from earlier this afternoon, which is the direction I want to see things moving. And we'll keep it short, sweet, to the point. We got ourselves a nice, solid hockey card to roll through here. So in the line of keeping things moving, first official play for the Monday slate, the Monday card, the Monday last call opener, Tampa Bay -1.5, +132. Good enough, I think, for us to get to the window. Probably end up winning this thing by 3. I actually even debated with the current form of the Detroit Red Wings. We've got no Larkin as well on the offense there. Even if Larkin does come back, it's still that opportunity to fade the team when their star player comes back to the lineup. So all about taking advantage here with this Tampa Bay Lightning -1 and let's go. Steve G says Detroit just isn't clicking. Hard to lay money on them on the road. I agree. I totally agree there. That's some of the confidence behind it as well, not to mention the angle that we have kind of backing it up there. Jay Peasy, there he is. Speak of him, and he shows up. He says, I take back everything I said about Vasilevsky. He stood on his head last game. Tons of saves for that guy. Getting into form. That Tampa Bay team starting to get healthy. Look out for these guys as they try to close down the regular season and move into the playoff run there. Subhuman Gaucho says his hockey play of the day, going St. Louis Blues, and he's taking a +170 spot out there. The subhuman play of the day is 8-3 with a +961 unit number. Man, Subhuman Gaucho, that's a hell of a record, my guy. And a +170 to boot. You ain't messing around, dude. Let's go get that cash. Nunya says, JPZ, Subhuman, Bo Jackson, JT, the whole gang. Y'all looking at any NBA player props out there? I mean, look, first glance here, you got to go back to our guy, Siakam. Why wouldn't you go take a look at Siakam's player prop there for his rebound spot? Subhuman says, look like that we are in alignment in this Tampa Bay game, although it pains me to see the state of my Wings. Yeah, I mean, look, they lost that game to Washington, and that all put a bow on their playoff opportunity. So let's keep it rolling. Let's talk about this next NHL game. We're going to keep it moving. I talked about this one earlier today on the sesh, 7 p.m. Eastern, up there in Toronto, north of the border in the 6. The Florida Panthers are taking the road and looking to take down this Toronto Maple Leafs team. Kind of interesting when you look at this line. We'll talk about it in a second. Let's go through the goaltending matchups. We've got Bobrovsky. You know this guy, we talked about him. Vezina Trophy opportunity, 33-16-3. The other side of things, Toronto's going back to Samsonov, 26-7, 20-6-7 on the season for this guy. Bobrovsky, 2.4 goals against average, 91.4% save percentage. Going to be hard to beat this guy for that Vezina Trophy finalist there because he's played a ton of games. He's played over 50% of the games, almost 65% of the games for the Florida Panthers. And he's running a phenomenal 2.4, 91.4% save percentage. On the other side with Toronto, they're going back to Samsonov. He's got a 303 goals against average with an 89.3% save percentage. I talked about this line. I said, this is kind of an interesting spot because we've got Florida going up to the north, crossing the border, and they're sitting there as a favorite in this crazy looking spot. What's so crazy about it? They've kind of gone through their own kind of struggles as of late. They did beat Detroit 3-2. We just talked about that game. Home game. They lost to the Islanders 3-2. The Islanders were struggling in that spot where they were able to come out there and beat them. They lost to Boston 4-3. They did beat the Flyers 4-1, but they lost before that 4-3 to the New York Rangers. Points are becoming a premium now. That's why we're seeing some of these teams pull their goaltenders in overtime. If you watch that Vegas-Minnesota game, it's the second time I've seen Minnesota pull their goalie in overtime the other night. You know what happens there? If they get scored on in overtime with a pulled goalie, they don't get any points for the regulation spot. So Minnesota went for it. Vegas slapped them in the face, and on they go. But on the other side of things with Toronto, you know, back-to-back wins there. 3-0 win at Buffalo coming back home. They did beat the Capitals 5-1, and they lost to the Devils 6-3. So kind of coin flippy a little bit, I guess. The thing I'm looking at with this game, though, is Bobrovsky did snap a 5-game losing streak, his last go out there in that Detroit game. He saved 20 shots on 22 attempts. So played pretty strong and trying to kind of come back and figure things out. We know that Samsonov will get his second straight start. This guy had a little bit of an injury factor. So he sat quite a few games there. They let him get rested and healthy. What does he do? He comes back out and he shuts out Buffalo 3-0. Big win for them boys. But you guys already know we've talked about this before. No reason not to keep running with it. What happens when a team's coming off a win at home? They're rolling out on the road, and it's the first leg of a back-to-backer on the road. They kick the shit out of those teams. It's 93-38 in those first of two leg back-to-back spots out there. Also, we got an away favorite situation. When you're the road favorite, you just won and you're under the last time you played this team, and it's under. It's 120-59 in the rematch spot as well. So I think the reason Florida opened up at this case is because of some of those mitigating factors out there. They're a road favorite for a reason. It's the first leg of a back-to-back. as great as I think Toronto's playing, they've definitely played some of their better puck away from the barn. And I think coming back home now, everyone gets excited. If you're a hockey purist or an old school hockey guy, you're going up to play in Montreal, you're going up to play in Toronto. Those matchups mean something. I think this Florida Panthers team comes out ready to fire, and fire they will tonight. So we're going to drop in there. Nathan Cerna says, I tailed you on these Panthers money line, baby. Coin says 89% of the tickets, 97% of the cash on Toronto over. And that total's dropped from 6.5 to 6. Is that right? It is. And that's because I believe these are going to start seeing this next week, particularly, Coin. It's a great observation. It's going to become playoff hockey. These guys get defense oriented. They want to get at least 1 point so they can continue to secure their seeding into the Stanley Cup playoffs. So lower scoring games should be defensive games. You're not going to see things kind of get opened up and ripped up there, especially between, competitive Stanley Cup final or playoff teams like the Florida Panthers and Toronto Maple Leafs here. These guys were there last year. They expect to go back this year. You got back-to-back unders for the Florida Panthers. You got back-to-back unders for the Toronto Maple Leafs. These guys are starting to come into playoff form, and that's how it's going to roll tonight. Nunya says Booker should go off tonight. He's well rested out there. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. Let's go Booker. 4-3 in that Pittsburgh Nationals game here. Onward and upward. Let's go to the third game of the hockey slate. Got to keep this brisk pace. Our guy is ready and waiting momentarily. So let's talk about it. You guys kind of alluded to it. We've got the Islanders. We've got the Flyers. What the hell is going on in this situation tonight? Well, we know the Flyers, until they bring that big Russian tree stump in there, are going to deal with Ersson going back in goal. And on the Islanders side, they're going to Varlamov. Varlamov's 9-8-4 on the season. Ersson 21-16-7. Varlamov 2.83 goals against average, 91.2% save percentage. On the other side, Ersson 2.79 goals against average, 89.2% save percentage. This is a must-win game for the Flyers. When I define must-win, if the Flyers win this game, it says they have an 89.5% chance of making the playoffs. If the Islanders win this game, they have an 82% chance of making the playoffs. If either team loses this game, their chances of making the playoffs drop into mid-teens. Mid-teens. Gagnon, it's, I can't even say his name. Is it Fedosov? I'm not sure even how to say it at this point. Fucking guy's 6'8". He looks like he grew up in the Russian Siberian wilderness out there. The guy is a monster. Go look him up. Look at him standing in front of the goal. The goals are about 4 feet high, and this guy's got about 4 feet on top of that goal. He's a big boy standing in front of that net. They're not starting him tonight, though. He will be coming. I do expect him to start the next game. And that's why I think there's a buzz going on for this Flyers team right now. Look, injuries happen. Guys are coming back. They've got Drysdale coming back, the big defensive acquisition that they made from the Anaheim Ducks out there. Ristolainen's still out. And, of course, Ellis still out. But we've got excitement in the building. They're at their own building. They've got this big Russian monster. This guy's a mutant coming back shortly. It should give this team just a little bit of a spark, knowing that it's win or die in this spot here to make these playoffs. And you look at Varlamov, he's 1-2 in his last 3. It is his third straight start. 4-1 loss. He did have 36 saves on 39 shots that last time out. I mentioned, Ersson not playing his best hockey right now. He let up 5 goals 2 times in his last 4 games out there. The guy's getting beat up right now. Rough spot there, 5-1 beatdown to Chicago. They've had a couple days to rest it up, get back home. And the bottom line is this is a fade spot when the Islanders are a road dog. Despite how average at best the Flyers have been playing right now, they're only winning those spots at about a 42% clip. So this is absolutely a fade on them, boys. Knowing the Flyers need this, there's a nice buzz going on right now. And there should be an opportunity for us to take this Flyer spot. Minus 118 is still the best number. We see minus 125s, minus 126s. It's starting to climb on up there, but I'm rolling in with these guys here. I know they say the Islanders probably have the slight edge when you look at these numbers and the way things have transpired. I get it. There's just too much buzz going on in Philadelphia right now for these boys to fall flat tonight. At home, Monday night, Wells Fargo is going to be buzzing. The Farg, they call it. And it should be a great spot for these Flyers to exact some playoff opportunity. Type of revenge going on there. Perky Bumps in the house. Says, Pimp Slap Mikey, my psychiatrist and favorite capper. Perky, man, it's great to talk with you, my guy. Nunya says he likes Booker 7+ assist at plus 114 out there. And Phyllis says, have you talked about LSU, Iowa? I'll talk about it. I'm not a women's basketball capper. I don't really spend time in the WNBA. I will when we get to WNBA. There's some things moving. I do like this LSU team, though. I think the Lady Tigers are rolling. Iowa's got Caitlin Clark. There's no doubt about it. I just don't know that that's going to be enough to overcome the depth that this LSU team has. And when you look at the line now, look, that Caitlin Clark's she's borderline a treat too, right? She's what, 6'9" or something like that. She's good. But on the other side of things, this LSU team is big up and down. If you look at how they match up, watch the game tonight and just watch the size advantage that LSU has over this Iowa team here. I think there's a good opportunity for these girls to go out there and board up, play some defense, control the rebound game, limit second chance opportunities. It's a flat number at 1.5 or 2, but I do think it's going to be a LSU spot to get the job done. So nothing official for me. It's not my forte, but I'll tell you, just with my 2 eyes and some of the scrubbing I did on these lines, I'll have some action in it. But I'm just going to go to the money line. I'm going to try to take a little shot at some plus cash. It's just going to be a little sprinkle for me to say that I had some cash on the game, but that's about it. He says biggest game of the night. I mean, I guess, I don't know. I guess because it's a rematch from last year. I don't know. To me, it's more of an opportunity for this hockey card than it is anything else. But Perky says, I really want to move on LSU. I think they gear up tonight and show the world that gangsters run shit. I don't disagree, Perky. I do not disagree. Let's roll on here. Last game on the hockey card. Then we'll jump in. We've got 2 NBA spots, and then we're going to make way for our guy. The Monday debut for our Monday resident here for Major League Baseball, and that is Jose Bouet. Let's roll on here. Edmonton Oilers, the St. Louis Blues, 9 p.m. Eastern. We got a big one. Let's talk about playoff opportunity here. We got a big surging number on this Edmonton Oilers team. It opened around -180. It's almost minus 205s out there now. This line is screaming towards Edmonton. I'm not saying I could disagree. You look at what they've done. Who have they played, I guess? They beat Winnipeg 4-3. They beat the Kings at home 4-1. They beat the Ducks at home 6-1. Now they're rolling on out to St. Louis, but St. Louis is 1-2 in their last 3 games. Losses to bad teams. They lose to San Jose 4-0. Very disrespectful out there indeed. But Edmonton does have 3 straight wins. Big momentum for this Edmonton team, but just a big number that I don't want any part of. I thought the edge in this one was looking at the goaltending matchup. We've got Skinner. He's 54 saves on 58 shots. His last couple of games have been certainly spectacular. 93.1% save percentage for Skinner. I realized I messed these goaltenders up. Skinner's 33, 14, and 4. He's rocking a 2.62 goals against average and a 90.7% save percentage. Bennington, 26, 18, and 4. He's got a 2.81 goals against average and a 91.2% save percentage. I just kind of alluded to this earlier. Playoff opportunities galore in these games here. And, despite the St. Louis Blues losing that last game 4-0 to San Jose, they opted to give Binnington the rest in that game so that he could be ready for this spot against the Edmonton Oilers. So now you've got their best goaltender coming in rested. You've got Skinner coming in here, standing on his head, well above his season average for the numbers his last couple of games. He's won 3 of his last 4 out there. And we've got Binnington's won 2 of his last 3. When you're winning games and you're shutting things down, you're 2-0-1, 25 saves on 28 shots, big 5-3 win over the Calgary Flames for Binnington out there. Game, clearly went over. It was a 6. They got themselves to 8. But we got this opportunity here. Playoff teams early in the week, travel spots abound. I'm going to jump in. I see this under 6.5, and I see it's -120. I saw some great numbers between these 2 goaltenders. Their recent performances abound here. I think this is a lower, tighter scoring game. If it's 4-2, it's because of an empty goal. I could see this being an overtime game as well. Subhuman Gacho says, Blues coming off an embarrassment, but a quality dog side at home. Think they can bounce back, and they have a history of playing Edmonton well. It's well said. I think that's a very astute comment there from our guy Subhuman Gaucho, and I don't disagree. Again, that 4-0 loss was because they opted to give their goaltender some rest for this game. If you're resting your guy, he better go out there and shut down them boys like Connor McDavid, and the like. So I think we see a lower scoring game in this NHL game. It's going to be an under. Sorry, JPZ, but I think this is a great spot for us to stay under this total. And we roll on out there. I see some cash action out there with LSU money line from our guy, Nunya. J Stone 9 says, same game parlay. Edmonton over 1. Is that over a goal in the first period? Edmonton money line and Ekholm anytime goal of plus 1,100. Yeah, I like that. I like that Ekholm look out there. J Stone 9. JPC said, I forgot the NHL goes by points. Yes, sir. And Kelly V's in the house. Great to see Kelly V. So that Perky. Championship games tend to go under, in my opinion. Other day, the total way off in the Iowa game, 20 plus too high. Perky says, Nanya, good looking out. Thank you, brother. And thanking Kelly V as well. It's great to see her up in the chat. Let's roll on. Let's talk some NBA, guys. We're trying to close this season off here. Positive records in NHL, positive record in the NBA. College basketball is going to be a grind. I'll give you guys the update tomorrow as we get ready for these NIT games because we are running out of games to get there. But certainly pride myself in being positive in all sports. So we've got some work to do. We'll talk about that tomorrow. In the meantime, let's talk about these two games that I am rolling with. I talked about the first one on the session. I realized I screwed up my times here. Let's talk about this first game. We've got the Phoenix Suns. We've got the New Orleans Pelicans. And we've got reverse line movement. We've got a +1. Has moved to 1.5. Interesting note. 64% of the bets, 91% of the cash on the Phoenix Suns. This line has not moved with all that money coming in on the Phoenix Suns. Has not. It's been sitting at that 1.5, and it almost looks like it wants to go to a 2. It's 8 p.m., so there's plenty of Eastern time, 8 p.m. We might see that thing shoot up to a 2 by the time this game rips off. You guys probably already know the situation. For me, this is a don't get off the train while it's rolling down the track spot for me. I'm going to go with these Pelicans. They're on their fourth straight home game now. OKC lost. They did beat Milwaukee. They got busted up by Boston. But I'm going back to the first half. It's an even money spot for me. And we've had these guys kind of change. Depending on the books, the Suns went from favorites to dogs. There's something in the water in that spot out there. And, we look at these totals. Strong plays on this under. The Pelicans, they're 9-0 to the under when they're coming off a loss. Their defense plays pretty sound. What's impressive, though, about that is when I looked at those first half numbers, I look at them quarter by quarter, half and half, to see kind of what the situation looks like for the game. Lots of money coming in on this over. Reverse line movement spot, 46% of the bets, 69% of the cash on the over. It's dropped 2.5 points to a 223. The Pelicans, after they scored 90 to 95 points the previous game, are also 0-11 to the under. Not upset with anybody that wants to jump in on that under. But as I talk about these unders, it's a defensive bounce back spot when they're off a loss that's low scoring. They D up. The first half margin in those spots is 8 points, 7.8 points a game that they're winning outright on those first halves. So I see the plus a halves out there. And if you feel better with that, then by all means, go ahead and take it. I'm just going to roll in, though. I see a plus 100. It's an even money spot. I see some minus 102s. I see some minus 105s. And I see some minus 106s. I'm just going with these boys. Give me this first half. Nasty Nate's in the house. He says, Pelicans smash. Rick J says, Pels. I like the Pels. I like them first half and full game. I can see with this number being as low as it is that some shit happens in this fourth quarter and somehow the Suns start to come back and make it a game. I don't want to sweat this whole thing. There's a lot of stuff going on tonight. A lot of action laid out there. For me, I'm jumping in. I'm taking this first half. I'm going to New Orleans Pelicans first half money line. At home, they have been nothing but glory for us, and I expect it to roll on tonight to open up the NBA card. Kind of a weird spot in the NBA because the last games of the night roll out at 8 p.m. Eastern. I got to backtrack a little, though, because I messed up this timing. The Detroit spot that we have tonight against the Memphis Grizzlies, 7 p.m. Eastern. That's going to tip off in just about 20 minutes. Talk about reverse line movement. We open at +1. We're at +3s now on this spot. It's crazy. 82% of the cash on the Memphis Grizzlies. I've heard people saying all day, the Memphis Grizzlies own the Pistons. I don't know, though. Give me this opportunity where we're looking at Cade Cunningham and squad to come out and get the job done. I did see Cade was questionable. I guess I got to go back and look. As far as the total, 74% of the bets on the over. It's gone from 214.5 to 216.5. So they are expecting to see some points, or at least the cash is coming in. This is a mash unit of games on both sides of this thing here. I do see no Cunningham, however, in the injury report. Fonticchio, it's going to be interesting to see what the final consensus is. I do not see Cade on the injury report, though. And look, when you're a favorite, you're 65% or less wins than your opponent, you're 37-3. Better teams win the job out when they've got a total of 222 or less. Definitely a little bit of complexity in that spot there, but it's basically saying the better team finds a way to win in these cases here when they've got some short numbers. 37-3. They're covering the margin by 7. We've got reverse line movement. You guys have heard me say many a time. All boxes need to check for me to jump in with this NBA stuff here. After getting burned a few weeks back, we've been very fortunate thus far with most of the opportunities that we've seen these games line up like this. It's a short NBA card, but also I think we get another under opportunity. Again, a reverse line movement situation. When you look at this game here and you've got a team that's gotten outscored 3 or more games, 3 points or more per game on average on the season. Detroit plays those teams. They go under. So their defense steps up to that 0-9 to the under. Not going to mess with the points in this one. I am rolling money line in this spot tonight. And I've got minus 130s. I see minus 142s, a lot of 142s, 145s, even a minus 151. So it's creeping on up. But I feel comfortable enough here with what I've seen from this Detroit spot. You look back at kind of recent performance, as much as I say that kind of tongue-in-cheek. Look, they did beat Washington. They're back home after what was kind of a grueling little season matchup in the month of March. On the other side of things, though, it's the G in Grizzlies stands for G League. And I think this Detroit spot is just going to be too much, especially with Cade coming back in that lineup to get it done. And Kelly V says Bane is out. So that's another little feather in the cap. Cameron Sinet says the under has cashed the last 3 games in the Iowa ladies basketball. Man, you guys love that game, huh? It's going to be fun to see that one. Cameron Sinet, that's a great number, my guy. Appreciate you sharing. Kelly D says no Ingram helps the under. And Cameron says not playing that spot, though, in that Iowa game. It's tricky. I don't watch enough. Listen, full disclosure, I don't watch enough ladies sports of anything other than beach volleyball to feel comfortable making a side or total prediction in that game. I told you, I leaned to that. So I like that under. I mean, it's a tight game. I love Kelly's analysis when it comes to these, playoff games out there and things being lower scoring. It's exactly what I would expect. I think that's a great look. Let's roll on. Let's get it going. Do we have our boy ready to rock backstage? I hope so, because it's his time to shine. And Shiny did. He came out opening up for us at 1-0. His last out there Friday. It was Friday afternoon. He came out there. He gave us that over in that, I believe it was the San Diego game. And it sailed over the number. No question about it. Hopefully he's there ready to rock for us, guys. Let's bring him on. Jose Bouet.
Hello, Mike. It's nice to see you, Mikey. It's great to be on. Last call as always. And excited. Yeah, 1-0. Can't complain about 1-0, huh?
Hey, man, you got to carry that record around like a proud Venezuelan flag that I see hanging behind you on the wall. So shout out to you, my guy. It's exciting to have you in the fold. And before we jump in, I know we've got a little bit of time here. We've got some time before these games pop off that we're going to talk about in the Major League Baseball slate. But I'm eagerly anticipating your answer here. You've done this now a couple of years deep here. You've had some trials and tribulations along the way.
Sure.
What's your takeaway here? What's the biggest thing you're looking to work on for this season? What are your do's and don'ts, I guess? What are your red light, green light situation? What are you staying away from? What are you trying to pound on as you look to take advantage here and moving into Major League Baseball?
Well, I took a page from Sharpie's book last year, and I have just kind of a list of pitchers that I want to back this year in some form or fashion. I also have a fade list, a mini fade list. So that's kind of helped me a lot, but those market spots like we had on Friday, especially you mentioned it, those reverse live movements, obviously all the money on one side and the line move to the other side, like those spots would just have to hammer because that's just like the books telling you what side they're on and stuff. So I think that stuff's just majorly important. And hopefully, staying, the whole thing is trying to stay, like 2 steps in front of the games, and that's kind of the whole thing. Like right now, my whole thing has been, the Yankees. And even though everyone's saying that they're shit this year and it's been it's been pretty good so far. Can't complain. We'll talk about them here shortly. And the same thing for like a team like the Astros, like everyone's been, we've known the Astros as our Lord and Savior for the last few years, but this might be the year where they start falling back, and hopefully staying one step ahead of that stuff is going to be helpful this year.
I like it. I like that you've got the power bar there, the persuasion tool. If anybody gets out of line, what are you going to kneecap them? Or are you going to smash them in the back of that? Like, what's the move with the bat?
Well, it just makes me feel more comfortable. I need to get into the zone. I need to feel, the pine tar in my hands. And so far, it's been a good luck charm. We're up 3 units on the year. And it's a bat that actually my buddy that plays in the Astros system, had my birthday at a fucking baseball game. And I got lucky that his team lined up with the team that plays in San Antonio. So I went to the game. And the fucking dickhead hit a home run in his first at bat while we were all there, and I was fucking cackling, laughing. And yeah, we had a home run. That's also the day where Sweet Tea Tips was born, when I did the whole Sweet Tea thing on the top of the dugout. Yeah, so yeah, no, it's a good luck charm. It is also it's nice. It makes me look cool. It makes me feel like Michael Jordan.
You do look cool holding it. You do look cool holding it.
Thank you.
It's working. It looks good on you. Nasty Nate's shouting out your shirt. He says that's a nice shirt you have on as well.
He got it for me.
Yeah.
So thank you, Nasty Nate. Yeah, no, it's a good shirt. Appreciate it. It's a good Celtics shirt.
Well, we can talk about the Celtics smashing another day. In the meantime, and it's a big number today, by the way. Oh boy. I mean, what are they laying 22?
Yeah, I didn't. Mike, I'll be honest with you. People keep telling me like, oh, the basketball, this is happening. That's happening. I'm like, dude, I have not watched a fucking second of any basketball since baseball has started. I've just watched all of the baseball. That being said, I do have a bet on LSU with everyone else. I saw a lot of people I trust all on LSU, and I'm on it as well. So fuck Caitlin Clark, basically. So I can't wait.
I agree. It takes more than one person to win a championship, and we'll see what Purdue does there and what the boys do. Zach Edey's trying to go make his thing happen in the NCAA men's side of things, but I like that Reese girl, man. She's easy on the eyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she I was gonna say she'd tower us, Mikey, but I forget you're not 5'5" like you are in my head. So
I'm not part of that. I'm not tall, but I'm not in the 5'5" category. So let's roll on though. Nasty Nate says, Mike, KP blocks over, Tatum assist over, and parlayed them together from our guy. Nice. It's funny, when I saw Nasty Nate down in San Antonio, I said, is there ever a time you're not going to play the Celtics? And matter of fact, he said, nope. He said, I'll just find a different way to play him, and attacking player props is the way that he was going. So he's sharing some of that love with us tonight, you guys. That's the stuff you want to write down when I talk about getting your pen and paper. Speaking of writing it down, Jose, let's put that 1-0 record on the line here, my guy. It's a shiny new car. It's freshly waxed. It's all gassed up.
Smells
ready
nice.
To go for a little road trip here. We got something that's not too far away from you. It's closer to you than it is to me. The Toronto Blue Jays. And they're rolling on down to the Stros, baby. We got them Astros after getting their pants pulled down and paddled with that bat you're holding around your shoulder. This line opened up at 83% of the bets and 96% of the cash on the Stros. There's no way that they lose after getting bludgeoned by them suspect Yankees there to open the season off. Then we've got a total that's sitting at 9. No info, though, on the cash flow. Can't see the bets or the cash flow. If you guys are new here, we talk about the bets and the percentage of money. We want to know where those tickets are, but not as a reflection of where the tickets are. It's how do the books respond when we see the bets typically constitute the public. They typically constitute the parlays, the teasers, the multi-leg, the round robins, and everything else that kind of goes into the soup. Then we look at the percentage of the money. We typically see that the money's going to be more single bettors. They're more single in that they're not parlaying things together. They're just dumping a backpack of cash out there. And in this case, this line opened up at -142 for the Astros. That big plate of cash comes out there, and it's still sitting at -142, Jose. We just talked about what happened there with this Houston Astros team. On the other side of things, we've got this Blue Jays team. Look, tough road trip for them, boys. They did split them. They opened the series, and they closed the series with W's against Tampa. Did they burn out of gas, though, Jose? The floor is yours. We're all eagerly anticipating, looking here after a 1-0 debut on Friday. Our newest Monday resident to Last Call. The floor is yours, Jose. Share with us how
yes. So I'm excited about this game. By the way, no Bo Bichette for the Blue Jays. I was hoping he would be in, but not yet. Yeah, I'm fading the Astros here to start the season. Like I mentioned kind of earlier in the program, I think the Astros might be hitting the shits this year. It's kind of interesting because they're not the same, management team that has been there and won all those World Series. That guy got fired. He's moved on and kind of, it's been kind of weird what their general manager situation has been. And they haven't made moves that really excites me. Like, Josh Hader, he's good and all, but I'm not spending big money for a closer, and they've got a pretty good bullpen in their own right. So I just think this might be one of those years where the Astros aren't as good, and we see the fall of the dynasty. So with all that money and all of those tickets on the Astros, and the line has not moved an inch, I just feel like we're just here for another Astros loss. So I took first 5 full game Toronto Blue Jays here. I wanted to take a team total. I really did, because Bowden Francis is going for the Toronto Blue Jays. I've never seen this human being pitch in my life. But I think this is more of a fade of just the Astros. Kind of their pitching just is not there yet. Ronald Blanco is okay, but their bullpen's not there, and their bats just have not been good. Now, we'll see if it was more a reflection on Yankees pitching or those bats that have started off slow, but I do believe the Blue Jays get this win, and we'll start seeing red flags from the Astros more and more and more.
So that's an interesting look. I definitely saw Francis and Blanco, and I was like, I don't know what to do with this game here. I'm with you. I wanted to fade these Astros. I think there's a lot of public perception on them being high. Jay Peasy says the Stros suck. Yeah, there's no question about what they did there, that past performance. So I chose to attack the total in this game, Jose. I looked at the K prop for both these guys. Francis plus 132 to the over 4.5 Ks. I looked on the other side with Blanco plus 105 on over 4.5 Ks. I see a plus 112 out there now as well. Might be a short order or a lot of contact here, guys pitching to contact, just trying to try to get them out in the backfield there, play a little defense out there. But I got a nice little angle here on this Houston over 9. Early season, so the first quarter of the 1,800 game season these boys play. When you got a team that's shorter than a plus 140 and they're in the first game of a series, it's 29-1-1 to the over if they're off of being swept in those spots. So specific opportunity for Houston to rise to the occasion. Kind of correlates with that Francis over 4.5, a plus 132 spot on his K prop. But I love the look for Toronto. I mean, you got to take plus money opportunities where they exist. The first 5, I got plus 123 for you, plus 126 on the full game. But I'm rolling to see some runs here. The margin in those spots, Jose, shorter than plus 140, swept the last series, 29-1-1 to the over, and they're going over by 5.5 runs on the number. So this pegged at 9. I see this 9 still sitting out there comfortably. It looks like it's starting to catch a little juice. The 9 is sitting at minus 115. I see 117s, 118s, 120s now. They're suggesting that we might see something as high as 14, 15 runs in this game. So I'm going to peg this over. You think that it's a chance that we see this thing bring your glove to the ballpark?
Yeah, like I said, I wanted to take the team total over to just take my guy Bowden Francis out of the equation. But I didn't have any, cash information like you mentioned on the total action, you sons of bitches.
Yeah.
And I saw that. Let me bring it up specifically here because there was some movement, and it's not really like major movement to get you scared or anything, but allegedly this opened up at 9.5 and immediately dropped down to 9. But I kind of have a feeling this opened up just as a straight 9. And then you can see that the under has gone all the way from minus 125 to minus 103. So you can feel better about that over for sure. Yeah, I probably should have taken a team total here, but I'm letting it ride with the Blue Jays. But yeah, if I had more cash flow information, I probably would have taken a team total just to get Bowden out of the way because his Astros lineup has been super cold and it's going to break out eventually. So yeah, but I'm on it. So first 5 full game, Blue Jays, let's ride.
Let's ride indeed out there. We got some action. Lil Domo says Hader went to his high school. And JPZ says, can I bet the over left on bases for the Stros? That sounds like an exotic book type of situation there. How many guys are you going to strand on base? That would be
hilarious.
That would be a sweaty way to watch the game, Jose. I don't know if I could pony up hoping that it's one thing to be rooting for an under. It's another thing to be rooting that they leave those guys on base. Oof, that sounds tough.
Yeah, no, that's sweaty. That's sweaty, and it'd be hilarious as well. You're just rooting for the guys getting on, and then once they get out, you're like, ah. That'd be great.
Let's move on. We've got 9:40 Eastern, Jose. Cleveland, the Guardians versus the Seattle Mariners. We got a line that opened up at -102. Cleveland, a slight road dog. 59% of the bets and 53% of the cash have moved this Cleveland team to a -112. So we got about 10 cents of movement in the direction of Cleveland Guardians. The total, again, no cash, but we see 70% of the bets are on the under. It opened at 8. It's sitting at 8, but it's a slightly juiced 8, Jose. And of course, when you look at this pitching matchup here, what a spot. We've got McKenzie, Tristan McKenzie, taking the bump for them Cleveland Guardians. He'll get his first start of the season. And then we've got Herbie Hancock on the other side of things here for the Seattle Mariners. And boy, your Boston Red Sox cashed me a +155 spot the other day out there specifically. March 28th, a big 6-4 win. A couple of losses. And then the Mariners finished off that series with a big loss against Boston. Do the losses continue? Or does Seattle find a way to say, sorry, you guys are wrong? Screw Tristan McKenzie. Herbie Hancock's going to come out here and win this game. I don't know, but I'm eagerly anticipating your feedback for us. How are we getting paid with this Guardians-Mariners matchup?
Yeah, I'm right there with all the money that's flipped towards the Guardians here. I'm on the Guardians full game money line. Emerson Hancock, like 5-7 innings pitched in the majors last year. Still think he's just young, and I trust my guy Tristan McKenzie. He's coming off of TJ, but he's going to be really good, and I think he's just one of those bet-on pitchers. He's on my list, and this was kind of just one of those easy, like, okay, I've got him at a pretty cheap price. I'll bet on him here. I took full game as well just because I trust the Guardians bullpen, and maybe we can get some runs off the Mariners bullpen. And of course, the Guardians got walked off yesterday against the A's, so I'm sure they'll be itching and ready to go to avenge a loss to the Oakland A's. So I took them full game money line here as well. By the way, I'll talk to T here specifically. We can talk about I'm going to have a late game edition for you, T. So we're going to talk Yankees at the end of this, at the end of the next game, T. So go ahead and start furiously making those graphics for our New York Yankees. Thanks.
Wow, the our slogan being factored in there as well. Yeah, that Cleveland series against Oakland was something for the ages there. I mean, who knew? They came out there and they shut them down 8-0 game 1. They go out there, they rip them up 6-4. They rip them up 12-3. You kind of had to figure, 4-3. You had to figure they weren't just going to go out there and roll over that first game of the series, but interesting enough, I didn't see I love when you share the ticket prices. I didn't see the ticket prices, but I did see in 2005, the Oakland Athletics opening day attendance was almost 56,000 people. This year, it was like 14,000 people. So there just doesn't seem to be any love for that team left in Oakland.
And that 14,000, I guarantee you, was juiced by 10,000. So it's probably just like 4,000 people.
Well, I've got one for us at 9:40, and then we'll circle back and we'll talk about your New York Yankees here. As we look at this one, I've got the St. Louis Cardinals, San Diego Father spot there. They were so good to you the last game there with the over. And I'm looking at this game here, and I see that we've got a spot where this line opened up at -115 for the Fathers. And this line has dropped to -105. Reverse line movement here. We've got 79% of the bets, 74% of the cash on the Padres, yet it's dropped a dime. Weird spot, though, because the money line for the Cardinals went from -105 to +102. So kind of hard to make heads or tails of that. I know there's 15,500 tickets in on that game. Just kind of a weird little spot as I saw those numbers where it's kind of like you're not really getting a tell on either side of the money line. Then I looked at the total, and the total, 67% of the bets on the over, 80% of the cash on the under. A line that opened at 8.5 seems like it's moved its way down. And look, boys and girls, get that pen and paper out. It's not just for this show, but you're going to want to keep this in mind. The St. Louis Cardinals, when they're in the first game of a series, opening up as a favorite, you fade them. It's 24-6 in those spots out there. 24-6, the first game of a series when they're a favorite. Jose, can you believe that number?
I'm muted. There we go. Yeah, that's a nuts number. So I'm interested.
So it was a small spot there with this reverse line movement. That's where this kind of triggered, where there was a little bit of movement there. But look, aside from fading these guys in the first game of a series, it's a travel spot. They got Gibson rocking the mound out there with this one. And what I did is I chose to take this thing down to just the first 5. You know, this is a situation where early in the season, I like to see bullpens and kind of how they can kind of mature across the pike here. But I had to go with this spot with San Diego. It's minus 114 now. So it's climbed up from, it was even money just a little bit ago. And it was plus 110 is where the number opened up. So cash is coming in on this Padres side of things. It's Waldron. I don't know. Jury's out with this guy. We'll see what happens. But I'm not sold on Gibson. I watched this guy shit the bed plenty with Philadelphia. And it's not something I want to get. It just wasn't a pleasant experience. I'll say this. The Padres, 4 of the last 5 games as a dog after they played the previous day were victories. Now, I know the lines move, but some of these numbers kind of are triggered off of opening lines out there. The Padres, certain spot for them. They've led after 3 innings in each of the last 7 games at night against the Cardinals out there as well. They're not showing any fear. The Nerfy's a great spot for these guys as well. The Nerfy hit each of the Padres' last 3 games as dogs against the NL Central. And then I looked and I see the Cardinals. This is the only reason I didn't move officially on the Cardinal or on the Nerfy. The Cardinals have lost the first inning in each of their last 4 Monday games against National League opponents. Any way you look at it here, it looks like it's going to be an early start for the Padres. And again, I want to get that bullpen out of the equation. I can just take these guys in that first 5. I got them at minus 114 for me to take the Fathers to get the job done in the first half, Jose. What do you think? Is Waldron going to be my guy, or is Gibson going to hit me with that bat in the back of the head?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a very interesting game. I stayed off of it. I personally, I made this just semi-rule, and there's no logic behind this rule. I want to fade most all knuckleballers, and that's what Matt Waldron is. He'll throw his knuckleball in there and try to, dazzle and surprise. But I just don't trust them unless your name is Tim Wakefield or R.A. Dickey, and these guys are not it. So I probably pass here, but the line movement in this game is very interesting to say the least. I've got on my site 79% of the bets, 74% of the money on the Padres here. And just weirdly enough, obviously we can't tell when those bets came in, but it's opened up minus 110 for San Diego. Flips, goes to minus 110 for, the Cardinals. And then from then on, it just keeps kind of trugging back towards San Diego here. And it's gotten all the way to minus 116-ish. As well. So I think that's very interesting. The market's kind of reacting towards all that money going towards the Padres. I'd probably lean that direction here as well. But I just don't like backing knuckleballers because they're scary to have, just any kind of like rain just fucks you up here. But yeah, I do like San Diego.
Well, I see Nasty Nate said, aren't there thousands of tickets on offshores and locals that aren't in that equation? And I'm sure there are. When I look at this sample here, the nice thing about our friends at Action, despite shit in the bed when it comes to where the percentage of cash is, they have a nice kind of spread as far as where these tickets come from. BetMGM, BetRivers, Caesars, FanDuel, DraftKings. They've got MyBookie. They've got Pinnacle. They've got Sportsbook.com. They've got WinBet in there as well. So I don't need to see where every single ticket is. I just need a good enough sample that I can feel some comfort or confidence behind where those numbers are. So, would I love to see them all? Sure. Locals, you're never going to see locals action in there just because, locals aren't going to be ones that kind of be forthcoming with where their action is. They don't have to either. But the thing about a lot of these books are they're publicly traded books as well. I talked about this before. Some people will say like, until they audit it, I'm not going to be confident in where these numbers are. Guess what? They do audit it. If it's a publicly traded company, they get audited every year. It has to be to remain compliant with the New York Stock Exchange and the SEC compliance. So they cannot misrepresent information. And until someone shows me differently, that I will stand behind it. Because if you claim out there, cash is going one way and you're putting a false front out there to generate buying habits, that's a big SEC violation. And these companies like DraftKings and FanDuel would certainly get fined and fucked all over the market if that was the case. So I'm comfortable enough seeing where I see it now. Again, it's not the end all be all with the markets. It's just, how do the books react to that market out there? If it was a 5,000 sample, I'd feel probably a little less excited than seeing, 15, 16,000 tickets out there. But it's a great point. Certainly a great point worth noting out there as well. And let's go. Let's talk about this last game here that Jose wants to add. I love the ads, the show ads. We sit on the information all day, Jose. That is the beauty of being able to jump on last call here. You don't have to give it out there that bright and early, at least not today. Now, other days in the week, you might not be as lucky. But we're going to look at this Yankees and Arizona Diamondbacks game for our guy, Jose, adding to the card bouquet. 1-0 to start this thing off on his last call debut. He's going to run deep with us today. He's adding this Yankees Diamondbacks game. We got a line that opened at minus 125 in favor of the road Yankees. 46% of the bets, 31% of the cash. Bigger bets coming in on the Diamondbacks. 26,798 ticket sample. And we got a total with 39% of the bets and 68% of the cash on the over. Yet we're seeing 9.5s in the market out there, Jose. Very excited to hear Nelson and Gil. Nelson and Gil. I said that aloud. Interesting spots. Nelson was a guy that I was betting on last year early in the season. Things got a little loose for him, or at least early for him in the season. Things ended up getting a little loose for him. But as far as the K-props, Nelson over 3.5, minus 130. Gil over 4.5, minus 160s out there for this guy. Gil, what the fuck ever. Let's go. Hill. Give us Hill or give us Nelson. What do you got? Jose, I don't got to say it to play it. Just tell me how I'm playing this thing and get into the window.
Yeah, like I mentioned again on the top of this show, I have shockingly been the loudest pro-Yankees voice on the internet, it seems. This team went 82 and whatever last year. They were kind of shit, and they just didn't have they didn't have good vibes, and all their pitching was hurt. And I just think that half of their pitching staff is just easy bounce back candidates. I love what they did with Marcus Stroman. He's an asshole, but he's an asshole they need in that clubhouse. I don't, love that they have Alex Verdugo on their roster right now, but he's a good defender, and he's not just one of these big assholes that just hit home runs and strike out. It sucks. I hate the Yankees. But I'm on them here yet again. Money line, took them full game money line. Now let's talk about, the market, because the market is, a big piece in my capping. Wanting to see where the market pushes everything, et cetera, et cetera. This opened up at minus 107 to the Yankees. It went all the way up to minus 124. I was like, okay, that's interesting. That's when I was like, okay, I'm probably going to bet the Yankees again. And then it starts dropping. It starts just, dropping minus 122. Minus 120, kind of stabilizes to minus 120 again, minus 122. And, now if you see it, it's down to minus 114, actually. I bet it at minus 115. So it's a little concerning, sure. And I know that there's a good trend with 4-game, 5-game winning streaks, and you change cities. It's a shitty trend, but I just think this Yankees team is going to be undervalued for a little bit here, and I'll just keep on betting them because, unfortunately, I think they're good. I think they're a good squad. It makes me sick saying all this stuff, and I'll keep saying it. I think they can win the division, even though the Orioles are really, really, really good. It's a concerning year, Mike. I actually I haven't bet it, so who cares? But I said that my World Series matchup this year, Mike, is a rematch of Yankees-Phillies. I think the Yankees will make the World Series this year, and it'd make me fucking sick. I'd be pissed off. I'd be pissed off every day in October and just be angry. But I also took the Phillies to win the World Series, so I'd at least to have that solaced in me. But I also can't stand the Philly shortstop, so that would really hurt my feelings.
Nasty Nate says, hit the like button or the Red Sox are going to win the World Series. Well, we can't have that. We can't have that. But Red October is a thing. Them boys going to want to get rolling, and the expectation, top to bottom, in that clubhouse, all the way from ownership on down, is we go out there and we create a dynasty. So that being said, though, Jose, as long as the Astros are out, then the Yankees have a chance to be in. So you have to like
and
that.
I think this is the Astros' year to fall. Like Alex Bregman's a free agent after this year. I think he's gone after this year, personally. So I think this is the last year of the Astros dynasty, and I think they fall here. So it's scary, Mike. I hate saying this shit. I hate saying that the Yankees are going to make the World Series. I'd be terrified if they won the World Series. I would be fucking miserable for months. It'd be horrible. Now, hopefully, I'm just putting my stink on them and they lose epically, but who knows? I do think they're going to be good, and I bet on them quite a few times this year. So I'm on them today as well, and it's going to be very, very interesting. You know, the market's interesting in this game. At least I've had some market support with me against the Astros here. So this is going to be a very good test for the Yankees and a good Diamondbacks team as well.
Well, I can tell you this, 70-15 and covering by almost 3 runs against the number. When you're the favorite and you're in the first game of a series, you're facing a team you either beat the last meeting or lost by 2 or less off a road series where you swept them. 70-15 fits the Yankees build today. A little bit of variation, and there's a couple variables or derivatives in there that don't excite me. But look, favorites in the first game of a series, coming off a road series sweep with a team that you beat the previous time around. You go out there and you paddle their bottoms with that bat 70 out of 85 times. And it looks like the numbers, you're seeing the cash moving in that direction as well. I have to get on that Yankees with you. You know, I saw a lot of people earlier today talking Diamondbacks, and I don't know why they were talking Diamondbacks other than they're just thinking that Astros played so poorly that the Yankees aren't a true representation of.
Yeah, and I can understand that. I could definitely understand why people say that. And I'll say betting on Luis Gil and Bowden Francis today really does not make me feel great. But we're on them both here today. But yeah, Luis Gil.
That made me choke as you said it. not feeling the position of confidence. But Jose, you are 1-0 on last call to open your major league season. You've given us plenty of action today. You got the Toronto first 5. I got you plus 123, and I got Toronto plus 126. I'm not sure if your numbers are better than those or not. Those are what I saw current spots.
I got plus 127 full game and 115 first 5. So, but we'll take whatever we can get right now. Obviously,
I see you've got Cleveland minus 112. You're adding your tease New York Yankees at minus 114. And I wish you all the luck in the world. It's going to be a lot of fun seeing the season go. Tell me it's not a lot more fun, not just capping every game, but just talking about the games you're betting on.
Well, yeah, it's definitely weird because today I kind of was a little picky choosy about what I was going to cap today, and it was a little weird. I'm excited to cap all the games tomorrow with our guy Loshak and Jimmy back again, so that'll be very interesting. And I can already hear Pete now saying, oh, "Listen, Jose Bouet, I trust you. It's early in the season. I don't have anything, okay, Jose Bouet? You're the expert here." I can hear all this things. Yes, I can hear it all right now, but I'm excited to see what Pete does with baseball season early. So I'm excited. And me and Pete are going to be, you know, I'm not going to wear a Yankees fitted, but I'll definitely have one in spirit saying, let's go Yankees, with betting all these bets I've made apparently on them. So it'll be very interesting to say the least.
Well, you have come with the goods today. You put some plus money spots out there. I see, quick look at the scoreboard. The Flyers are up 1-0. On that note, the Kansas City Royals are getting busted up, but let's get up out of here. Let's let everybody go do their Monday thing, Jose. It's going to be a long season. I'm looking forward to capping with you, getting these plays out there, and getting that cash, my guy. Thanks for coming on tonight. Let everyone know what you got cooking. What's your schedule look like now? Say hey plays. Bust it out for us here. Monday to Sunday. It's a 24/7 operation in the Bouquet Apartmentstead there. Where can we find you?
Yeah, it is a 24/7 operation. It definitely keeps me busy. and it's definitely fun. So shout out to you guys that make it all possible, obviously. Yeah, Mondays, you guys watched it today, last call and Medicaid Monday with the guys. I'll be joining them every Monday, giving out my plays. Tuesday, again, with Loshak and Jimmy. Wednesday through Friday, me and Jimmy break down the card every morning together. It'll be a lot of fun. We'll have some guests popping in and joining us then as well. And then Saturday and Sunday, your good old traditional say hey plays, 11 a.m. Eastern. We'll have Dabby Cab on Saturdays, some special guests. Mikey will join me and Cab on Saturdays as well, because Sundays, I've learned, are not good days for Mikey. By the way, and if obviously Sunday say hey plays again. But by the way, Mikey, shout out to you and MMA Jeff. I cashed some tickets on Saturday night because of you guys betting the UFC. So shout out to you both. It was a great time. And that was very nice. So I appreciate you guys. But thanks, everyone, for watching. As always, JPZ, Al Cervic, Bo Jackson, Chosen One, Nasty Nate. Hearing me bet the Yankees is diarrhea for him, it gives me diarrhea as well. I've had diarrhea since the Easters, Nasty Nate. Trust me, it's ugly stuff here. Troy, nice to see you. Perky, shout out to T, working the behind the scenes, doing his thing. Ah, God, this Yankees shit is disgusting. But thanks, guys. Appreciate you. And see you guys next time.
And with that being said, everybody, hope you have a great, glorious Monday out there. Get that cash. It's April 1st, start of a new month. We got to stack them up high and let them fly. Shout out to my guy T on the ones and twos, as always, keeping everything tight and right for everybody out there. Good luck with your cash. Good luck with your bets. And I'll see everybody back here tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern. We're going to bring in Billy Briz. We're going to talk all things hoops. We're going to talk hockey. We're going to talk baseball. And who knows what else we'll bring up there to get this cash moving in the right direction for us. Good luck, everybody. Be good and stay pumping, baby.